Is true, you came from a cosmic burp about 20 billion years ago. And there is no purpose to life. Why are we here? Hey, if evolution is true, you're only here to have fun. If it feels good, do it. That's the philosophy of humanism. And where do I go when I die? Well, if evolution's true, you just go back to the grave. You get recycled into a plant or something else. There is no afterlife. But I happen to believe the world was instantly created, and there are some purposes for us to be here, and you better find out what they are. But Adolf Hitler said, if you tell a lie long enough and loud enough and often enough, the people will believe it. The secret to getting somebody to believe a lie is constant repetition. Just keep telling them over and over and over. They'll believe it before it's over with. That's what my two big brothers did with me. I've got two older brothers, Ross and Mark. They're bigger than I, 6'4". They've always been older than I am. Matter of fact, they still are today. But when I was about 6 or 7 years old, I was raised in East Peoria, Illinois. I came running into the breakfast table one morning, and I was the first one there for breakfast. And so I got the last banana out of the bowl to put on my cereal. My two big brothers walked in a few minutes later, and they said, hey, Kent, is that the last banana? I said, yep, and I got it. How many of you have an older brother or sister, and you know that wonderful feeling when you finally pull one over on them? They pick on you all your life. That morning, I had them, and I knew it, man. They wanted my banana. But big brothers do not beg little brothers for anything. They either beat them up and take it away by brute force, or they lie to them and trick them out of it somehow. So my big brothers lied to me. They said, Kent, do you know how bananas are made? I said, no. I was only 6 or 7. It's been proven in laboratory tests the brain doesn't even start to grow till kids are 18 to 20. How many teachers can verify that from teaching kids for a while? Yeah, right. No, they lied to me. They said, Kent, when down in South America, there's these spiders that have big, long legs. And when they die, they hang up in the trees, and all their legs fold up, and then mold starts growing on those dead spider legs, and a banana is actually moldy spider legs. I said, you guys are lying to me. You just want my banana, don't you? And they said, no, brother. Cut it in half, and look, you can still see the black spots in the middle where his legs were. So I cut it in half, and look, sure enough, black spots in the middle. You know, I did not eat bananas for nearly 3 years after that. They lied to me. I gave them my banana. I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. If you tell the lie long enough and loud enough and often enough, the people will believe it. The reason I believed that about the banana was because it contained an element of truth. I could see the spots in the middle. I could see, hey, it looks like that was his legs. If you want to get somebody to believe a lie, you have to mix it in with a lot of truth. That's how they sell bad products. You mix the bad product with something good, and then you sell the two together. That's what they've done for years with Marlboro cigarettes. You know, they want you to think that Marlboro has something to do with cowboys. Would you please explain that? What is the connection between Marlboro and cowboys? Do all cowboys smoke? No. Do you have to smoke to be a cowboy? No. If you start smoking Marlboro, do you become a cowboy automatically? No. You may smell like a horse, but you are not a cowboy, okay? Actually, it's been proven in laboratory tests that nobody in the world smokes. Nobody smokes. Only the cigarette smokes. The person is the sucker, that's all. Somebody said, now, Brother Hovind, that's not right. David Koresh smoked for a while, but he finally quit. I don't know, I wasn't there, but they're lying to you. They want you to think there's a connection between smoking and cowboys. There is no logical connection. Same thing with beer. You know, beer would not sell by itself. So they mixed beer in with another product called sports. They want you to think beer has something to do with sports. Hold on just a minute. What is the connection between alcohol and sports? You ever notice the beer commercials? They always get some big football player holding his can of Bud Dumber. Or Bud Stupid. They call it Bud Wiser, but it doesn't make him any wiser. You know, he's dumber or stupid one. He says, man, if you want to be a football player, you better drink this stuff. Hold on just a minute. What is the connection between alcohol and sports? Do you want your quarterback full of beer when he's out there calling the plays? Why don't you fill your defensive end full of beer before the game and see how he does? Hey, did anybody see number 14? I'm supposed to guard that guy. Oh, yeah, he just ran across the line with a touchdown. No, you don't want your athletes having anything to do with alcohol. There is no connection between the two. It is crazy. You watch Indianapolis 500. They'll be going around the track at 200 miles an hour. See a sign flash up says, drink Bud. You want them guys drinking Bud going 200 miles an hour? They have enough wrecks like it is. Some students say, well, Mr. Hovind, what's the matter? Don't you like beer? I don't know. I've never tasted it. Never tasted it? Nope. 41 years old, never had a drop in my life. Well, I've had NyQuil a couple of times, but never tasted any. And they say, well, how do you know you won't like it if you don't try it? Well, that's a dumb philosophy to live by. Have you ever laid your head under a semi-truck? Well, how do you know you won't like it if you don't try it? You don't have to try it to know it's bad for you. You can just look and see what it does. Hey, you ever dove head first off a tall building into the concrete? Well, how do you know you won't like it if you don't try it? No. Just look, kids, just never taste it. You might develop a taste for it. If so, it's going to be bad for you in the long run. Just learn, hey, don't touch the stuff. Much smarter to live that way. And you don't have to have any. But they sell the beer by mixing it in with sports, and there is no connection between alcohol and sports. Zero. No connection. Totally unrelated. What they're doing is what's called the rat poison technique. They're mixing two products together that do not belong. Did you know rat poison is mostly good food? Just a little tiny bit of poison thoroughly mixed in. And by putting the two together, people think they belong together. Rat thinks, oh wow, free bowl of food. You better watch it. You're getting some poison in there with it. That's what alcohol mixed in with sports is, and that's what cigarettes mixed in with cowboys is. And that's what's happened in our public school textbooks. I'm concerned, folks. I really want to help. There are many good teachers that are sincere and intelligent and honest, and they're also concerned about what's going on in our textbooks in the curriculum. The curriculum, since the early 1960s, has become very corrupt as far as the philosophy of evolution. It's included as if it is a fact. Oh yeah, boys and girls, this is the way it happened. They teach it like it's a fact. Here's a first grade textbook, first grade. Notice what it says. Earth has changed much since its formation 4.5 billion years ago. Now wait just a minute. Is the world 4.5 billion years old? No. But if you tell a kid in first grade that it is, he's going to believe you. You see, first graders believe everything you tell them. They believe bananas are moldy spider legs. And then you be sure to tell them again in second grade. Here's the second grade textbook. Since its formation 4.5 billion years ago, Earth has changed. Notice down near the bottom it says, life too has evolved on Earth. Second grade? The world's billions of years old? Well look, if you tell the lie long enough and loud enough and often enough, the people will believe it. By the time a kid's heard that billions of years ago, if he hears that in first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, after 15 or 20 years, he's going to believe it. He doesn't have to see any evidence, no proof. He's going to believe it's true because that's all he's heard all of his life. And you're going to hear that billions of years ago a lot, believe me, in the textbooks, in the classroom. Now, if you're ever in a class someplace or you go off to college and some professor says, millions of years ago, here's what you should do. This is classic. It'll work every time. Just raise your hand and say, excuse me, sir. Were you there? And he will say, well, no, of course I wasn't there. And then you say, well, now, sir, do you know the world is billions of years old, or is this just something you believe in? He's going to have to say it's something he believes because there's no possible way you can know it. Real science is observable, testable, and demonstratable. You cannot observe or test or demonstrate that the world is billions of years old. You can believe it, but you can't prove it. So it is part of somebody's religion. And he'll say, well, no, I don't know the world's billions of years old, but I believe it because my professor in college told me about it. Oh, well, then here's what you do. You raise your hand and say, excuse me, sir, was your professor there? He'll say, well, no, but his professor told him about it. Oh, well, excuse me, was he there? Do you know anybody who was there billions of years ago? No. The idea that the world is billions of years old is a religious belief. It is not a scientific thing you can know for sure. Now, you're welcome to believe it, but you cannot possibly know it for sure. It's just part of somebody's religion. Actually, the world is not billions of years old, as we shall see in a minute. We ought to be teaching kids real science in our textbooks instead of teaching them these crazy theories that have nothing to do with science. For instance, the first law of thermodynamics tells us matter cannot be created or destroyed. Well, if matter cannot be created, then how did the world get here? We are here, you know. So that leaves two choices. Either somebody made the world or the world made itself. Now, there's a few out there on the lunatic